Okay, so this is a little bit of a different thing because I decided to play Frankenstein with my patterns. That's the best way I can put it. A couple years ago, when I was getting ready to try and do the Belle dress, which is still on my to-do list, I found a brown cotton duvet cover that I was going to use as petticoats. But I didn't like how it looked, and I didn't think it would feel right underneath the velvet. So I ended up chopping that up and saving the fabric. Now this fabric is a straight brown cotton, but it has satin stripes through it. And it's just woven in. So it's like a satin stripe and a matte stripe and a satin stripe, and it just goes along the way. So I really like this fabric. It is kind of fun. And I found a king-size duvet cover in this. So I decided the things I like best from 3 different patterns and make a dress. So the first part I decided was I love this skirt pattern. It's a pleated skirt that's a circle skirt, and it's huge and it's fun, and I'm kind of in love with it. I still do have to make a petticoat to go with this. I need to make a black one and I need to make a white one because I have a white plaid in this, white and blue plaid. But part of the reason I also chose this pattern, it is a button fringe, and that is going to be very helpful because this is a shirt dress. Now, the second pattern I chose was this bodice, which is B5920, and part of the reason I love this is the collar. You can see it. The collar goes up, and it's not really a true shirt dress style, but I love how it sits on me. It looks very elegant without being pretentious. It does have darts in the shoulder of the back as well as the bottom of both the front and the back. It does not have the side bust dart. That has been mitigated through other darting. It is a 3-button down. The skirt is 3 buttons, so it is a 6-button dress. I did put in a hook and eye at the waistline because that allows me to wear it with a belt. Kind of necessitates that I need to wear it with a belt, but I'm okay with that. Belting a dress is kind of cool. Now, sleeve-wise, because I did want this to be a sleeve dress because, well, this is in brown, and because it's in brown, it leads itself more to a fall-ish dress, and I have come to the realization that I like wearing dresses during the fall. I like wearing dresses altogether. So the sleeve pattern I went with was with this. And this is Simplicity 1459, and this is a 3/4 length sleeve with 3 darts at the elbow, and I like the way it fits. It's very fitted, I will say that. It does make it hard to it's I think at some point I will have to figure out how, but the sleeve itself is a little tight right around my bicep because I do have kind of large biceps, and I don't mind that because it means I'm strong. But those are the 3 patterns I used to make this up. Now, I will say I got a lot of flack when I was doing this because everyone else thought, oh, it's not going to work, but it worked. Sort of. I like how it looks. I like how it fits. I did put a 1/4 of an inch in the back as well as each of the side pieces. I just extended it an inch. because I wanted it to fit a little more loosely. This is meant to be like an everyday, somewhat nice dress that I can wear to like pick up my son, meet with his teachers, go out shopping. It's meant to be a comfortable dress that I can just wear out and about. It's not a dressy dress. It's not like something I would wear to tea or a concert or like to a nice restaurant. This is an everyday, nice, longer sleeved dress. It's I guess the best way to put it is, it's not something I wear lounging around the house, but it's not something I wear out formal. It's something I'd wear going to the fabric store, going to a vintage shop. The skirt has a lot of movement to it. The waistline is not too constrictive. It's got the hook and eye at the center waist, so it fits, but I do wear it with a belt, so it is easy to accessorize. Overall, it's just a lovely dress to wear. You will see it at the end of the video. It was a fun project for me. It was basically taking 3 of my favorite pieces out of 3 different patterns and making them work. And I hope you enjoyed watching this process. I will probably do the skirt and the bodice again in a different video because I like how the way it looks. And it would be like a fun summertime with this short sleeve. It seems like something that I would probably end up doing again. So you will see this fabric again because I will be using this fabric to make a blouse, like trying a blouse pattern. It is a fully lined blouse with huge bishop sleeves. I think you will like it. I will say that I used some abalone shell buttons that I got a couple years ago as a birthday present. You will probably see those buttons again because they're kind of nice. They add a little bit of something to the outfit. But other than that, I hope you all have a lovely day, and I will see you all next time. Bye. Okay, so here I am starting off probably in a very weird place for you, but I wanted to do all the darts at once, so I did the darts on the sleeves, which you're seeing here, which there are 3 at the elbow, which helps you to be able to bend the elbow. It's a very 1950s thing. I really like it though, so it is what it is. The other darts are on the bodice, which there's only one. It goes up from the waist seam to the apex of the bust. And so, yay, not very many darts. Darts are not my favorite thing. Everyone has that one thing when they're doing a project. It's called the sleevel. Well, for some people it's the sleevel. For me, it's just an annoyance to get through. So I don't mind setting sleeves. What I do mind are darts and sewing on buttonholes. I'll do the buttonholes just fine. I actually prefer doing bound buttonholes, as you can see. Yes. So I am doing a fully lined bodice, simply because I did not want to have to worry about finishing these side seams. This is kind of a work with what you've got outfit. This fabric, as I said before, is a duvet cover. It is just the brown cotton. It's got satin stripes and satin matte stripes next to each other, and I like it. However, it is basically a fabric I bought for a different project, and I ended up using for this. So I did not purposely buy this interfacing, it's just what I had left over from other projects. I did not purposely buy the buttons. These were gifts a couple years ago for my birthday. I spent $0 in preparation for this project. The only thing I had bought was a extra roll of brown thread because I didn't want to run out, and I was glad I got that because I did run out about halfway through sewing the skirt. I did do a lot of hand finishing on this one again. I did a 2-inch rolled hem and then I catch stitched the skirt down so it does look nice. At least in my opinion, it looks nice. I also whip stitched the arm size so that they would not fray out. Oh, this pattern does have 2 darts in the back. Not my favorite, but it gives a very nice fit, so I am willing to put up with it. Again, this is a very mid-century thing. If you look at a lot of extant garments, they will generally have darts into the shoulder, which I like because it helps deal with the shoulder roll without having to cut it into the arm side. So it does help shape the clothing to your body. So here I am just playing connect the dots, and I'm using a white chalk pencil for this. This pencil does rub off very quickly, so you can't really use it for marking buttonholes, but it does make it great for marking darts or temporary placements of things. If you're using this pencil, know that because it will just wear out very quickly. You can see just by marking that other dart, the other line's already been kind of eased out a little bit. This bodice pattern does have this self-collar, which I like. Some people may not. I like it though. It is a little bit higher than usual collars, but it does have room for either choker style necklaces, or you can put brooches on a la the costume historian. Part of the reason I like this bodice pattern is because there are no side zippers. This is a fully buttoned down bodice. I did extend the sides 1/4 of an inch all the way around to give myself an inch built in. I did not mess with these shoulder seams because that is also the color and I am not ready for that yet. But I did add an extra 1/4 of an inch to each of these side seams to give myself a little more breathing room around the waist, because I have added fluff in my waist over the last 2 years. My shoulders are still the same. I don't need any length. I just expanded around the waistline. Basically, the pandemic was hell on my waistline, and now I am compensating for that by adding an inch to everything. But yes, just doing a 5-inch seam allowance down the sides. By doing a fully lined bodice, this basically takes care of itself afterwards. Then I go through and just sew around the collar using the sewing line I put on the interface as my guide. You see that little V shape? That is actually the sewing line for the collar. So doing this, sewing the top side as the interface side as the top side allows me to have that line drawn in pen, because I know it will be covered up and no one will ever see it besides you, me, and the entire internet. But this allows me to get that corner right without worrying about chalk pencil disappearing. And this is probably one of my favorite colors. Once I figure out how to extend this bodice down, probably another 3 inches maybe, then I will probably make a bodice out of this bodice pattern. Shirt out of this bodice pattern, because it is just kind of one of my favorites, and I can just imagine having this in a like cotton poplin in like white or black, and being able to have long sleeves with it, bishop style sleeves, and I think it would look really nice. But that's me, and I'm kind of weird. But I would probably also do this in a short sleeve and allow myself to have like a summer one and a winter one and just be comfortable and nice all year round. But I really like this bodice pattern, if you can't tell. I also like the sleeve pattern, even if it is a little bit tight on my upper arms, but that was part of the mid-century style, was having a tight arm, because that's just one of their things, I think, anyway. So yes, once I've got that done, here I am again fiddling with the arm darts, well, elbow darts I should say. And I'm just muttering to myself, and this is part of the reason I don't like darts. Just muttering about darts and their placements and getting them to sit right without yanking the pins out. So then I will again mark and then connect the dots and then sew the darts. It is a very repetitive pattern. And as you can see, when this fabric is lying down, it does tend to wrinkle, but the wrinkles come out really easy. This is 100% cotton. It is very comfortable to wear. It is very warm. It is very soft. It's part of the reason, but it is also crisp. It has a very nice snap to it. Like if you've ever pushed fabric together and then snapped it, a lot of the looser weaves, drapier fabrics will not do the snap that this fabric does do. It's got a lot of body to it, as you will see in the skirt at the end of the video. It almost doesn't need a petticoat under it. I still want to either make or buy a couple petticoats and wear one under this, because this is a full circle pleated skirt. It is glorious. This skirt does take like 3 yards of fabric though. So if you're going to do that skirt, keep it in mind. I, at some point, do want to do this skirt as just a skirt and put a waistband on it, and yeah, I just think that would be nice. I would have to fiddle with the buttonhole placement for that though. So here is one of the interesting things about this sleeve, is it's got this interfaced band at the end of the sleeve, and you do attach this while the sleeve is still flat. You will then sew up the seam of the sleeve with the interfaced part, seaming it up too. Personally, I like how this turns out. It gives the end of the sleeve a nice stiffness without being too squeezy on the arm. So the only issue I have with the squeezy of the arm is right around my bicep, but I may have big biceps. I still love this sleeve pattern. If I had to take off these sleeves, I would just make it a sleeveless shirt dress. But that would kind of defeat the purpose of this dress, because it is in brown. It is very fall-ish, so yes. So here I've sewn up those interface, sewn the interface piece onto the blouse sleeve itself. I cannot talk this morning. But now I'm just sewing up the sleeve itself, and I believe how I finished this seam is I turned the seam allowance under 1/4 of an inch and then zigzagged it down. Yes, that is what I did. And then I just turned up that interface section and it was ready to attach the sleeves to the bodice. I did do this part before sewing up the skirt, simply because once you've got the skirt on, it is hard to wrangle all that material around, and it is much easier to do it when that material is not on there. Doing sleeves is difficult enough. I would rather not procrastinate it so much that it makes my life a little bit more difficult. So, yes. the sleeve does have a little bit of ease built into the top. However, with the extension of the side seams, it took a lot of that ease out, which I personally like. It gives a smoother head to the dress and makes it look a little more streamlined and a little more purposeful. So once that sleeve head is in, I will stitch it and then I will get to work on the skirt. And part of the skirt is pockets! I do like having pockets in this skirt shape. It suits me well. However, I will be debating on pockets for one of my next projects because, well, one of my previous projects, you've probably already seen this. It's the white dress that came out in, I think, either May or June. At this point, I am still debating on whether to put pockets in it. I'm leaning towards yes, but it is a gathered skirt, so that may be a no. I'm just going to look at other people's works and see what they did and get a general idea of if I want pockets in this coming project or not. Because pockets are a thing, and I'm not sure if it's a thing I want to do at the moment. But hey, that's what life is, isn't it? So in this skirt, I do put pockets, and then I pleat the tops, and I French seam the sides of the skirt and the front edge of the skirt, I think. Yes, here I am getting ready to French seam that. I did do some reinforcement stitches on this top corner, and at some point around here I realized that I put the buttonholes on the wrong side, so I just zigzagged over that so that they wouldn't warp the dress itself. I kind of think it's kind of funny. This is my oops, I messed up dress, but that's okay. I wasn't gonna be too fussed about it. I was just like, oh well, this is it took $4 to make dress. I do like the fabric of the skirt. And I like how the skirt turned out. So once I've got the pockets in, once I've got the skirt assembled and pleated, I will then also go through and mark the hem up, and then pin the hem, and then steam the ever-living heck out of the hem, so because this is cotton, it will help shrink some of those fabrics so it isn't laying so crooked. And then the dress will be done. Well, after 3 hours of hand sewing a hem into place, it will be done. But I really enjoyed doing this project. It did take me 1 day for the bodice, 1 day for the sleeves, 2 days for the skirt, and I think an extra day for finishing, so 5 days. But it was kind of lovely to work with this fabric. I will keep my eye out for more duvet covers, and you will probably have already seen them, but there are 2 more projects, quote unquote, that I will be doing. One is that bolero suit, and the other is the white cotton summer dress that is based on my winter dress with the large collar and etc. So here I am putting on the skirt to the bodice. It is not very fun, it is not very glorious. However, I did just turn up the seam allowance for the lining and sew that down by hand so that it would finish all this raw edge, because this fabric, while cotton, does want to fray on you because it is bedding cotton, not like any other kind of cotton. But I like how this turns out. It, once finished, did not warp very much on me. I did let this skirt hang for like 2 days while I was working on the bodice and the sleeves. I just pinned the actual fabric to the mannequin so that it could, if it was going to warp out of shape, warp out on the mannequin as opposed to on the dress, which is much harder to hem. I will also press all of this before I wear it so that it looks nice, or before I hang it up in my closet, I should say. Once I've washed this fabric, I probably will have to press the pleats again, but I did leave in the basting for the pleats simply because I want to have those guidelines and I want to keep it smooth over the hips because that helps give a more mid-century housewife look, which is more my aesthetic. I liked how the 1950s housewives looked. I think it was a little bit elegant, but that is my opinion. Part of the reason I'm using these pins itself is because I can sew over them and they don't hit the needle. Well, knock on wood. Once I have that all pinned, I will sew it, and then I will hem it, and then I will have a pretty dress. So how I do style this is usually with, when I have a petticoat, with a petticoat. And then I like to wear this with a brooch. I want to get some more brooches at some point, but I do like this with a brooch. It's got the neckline for it. It is not really long enough to do my usual style of necklace, but I like the way this neckline sits on me. And then I also tend to pair it with a belt, as well as a simpler pair of shoes. I now have a brown pair of shoes and a black pair of shoes. I like both. With this dress though, and with the belt I like the black ones a little bit more. So here I am setting up the seam allowance, which is just marking up from the bottom of the hem. And then I will fold up the hem to match the marks, and then I will pin, and then once I've got all of it pinned, then I will press. And this just seems to work for me. I did do a catch stitch this time because I wanted to try a different hand sewing method. For that white dress, I hope I used horsehair interfacing. But here's the dress itself. I think it suits me rather well. The hem is rather level. The sleeves are a little tight, but I'm okay with that. The dress itself, I really like. It is comfortable. I did add 1/4 of an inch throughout the skirt as well as in the bodice, but it sits rather nicely on me and it lays nicely. So, I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I will talk to you all next time. Bye!